Dear students and audience, I welcome you to this session on environmental degradation and tourism, Unit 20 under TS5, Ecology, Environment and Tourism. This is part 2 of the series where we are discussing the tourism development and environmental negligence. Till now, we have discussed how tourism sometimes become a partner to skewed development processes which results in land use pattern and becomes responsible for displacement of people. We would learn about ecotourism and its broader definition, how carrying capacity of a destination is neglected, thereby bringing bad name to ecosystem itself. We learned about ecotourism and its broader definition, how carrying capacity of a destination is neglected, thereby bringing bad name to ecosystem itself. Now, we would be diving deep on the subject of ecotourism, the ecotourism dilemma, which contributes to environmental degradation, and finally, some of the ways how these problems can be overcome. Let's discuss the problems and solutions, challenges facing ecotourism. Threats to indigenous cultures. An increase in the number of tourists can hamper the freedom of cultural expression, wherein the natives making some of them feel threatened. Also, most of the natives are largely seen as prop tourist guides, making them feel objectified. In addition to encouraging stereotypes, also a continuous interaction between the locals and the tourists may cause a gradual shift in culture as well. Degradation of ecosystem may still occur. Ecotourism's main aim is to preserve environment, but unfortunately, it often offers a challenge in itself. Ecotourism takes tourists to new places, and in some cases, ecosystems that are relatively untouched by human are knowingly or unknowingly disturbed by the so-called tourism development. The interaction between the new environment and the tourist could disrupt it. For instance, the humans could scarce off prey, disrupting a predator's hunting pattern. It could also result in a higher demand for resources such as food and water, stressing the environment to accommodate more people. Increased footfall has also been associated with the possibility of damage to plant life and soil quality. Travel could disrupt environment. To visit exotic places, people have to travel either by air, car, boats, roads. Such mediums generate huge amount of pollution affecting the local environment, particularly in the form of noise pollution, air pollution, and land pollution. We ought to look into it more profoundly. Possible relocation of locals as ecotourism inevitably leads to development. Ecotourism in a large scale means hotels will be built, especially when the visitation area becomes a big part of travel industry. When this happens, there will be expansion and sometimes excavation may also occur. In such cases, the locals might be forced to move from their native names. For instance, about 70% of all national parks and game reserves in East Africa are on land that once belonged to Maasai people. The indigenous people were never compensated, and the employment opportunity that have arisen as a result favors elite instead of the native people. This brings in the dilemma. Growing number of ecotourism organizations working for profit. Ecotourism is growing every year, meaning there are more firms and organizations each year joining the ecotourism bandwagon in the name of promoting sustainable tourism. Nonetheless, some of these organizations are also prioritizing on making profits over preserving the ecosystem they do. Some have been negligent to the adherence of eco-friendly policies and enticing more tourists to spend money on the organization's services rather than on tourist attraction sites. Possible solutions to ecotourism. For eco-travelers, research more before engaging ecotourism agencies or organizations. Before engaging an organization's services, it is imperative to research if it is adhering to preserving and improving the local culture, community, commerce, and conservation of ecosystem. At the end of it all, the goal of ecotourism is for environment and the local community benefit from individual travelers and organizational operations. If background checks reveal that an institution has prioritized profits over the protection and the long-term sustainability of the environment, they should be completely avoided. Reduce impacts on environment. ecotourism travelers should consider taking flights that are less harmful for the environment. Wherever possible, it is advisable to walk, trek, hike while on foot in public transport instead of renting cars or the so-called higher means of emissions. Also, renting more non-motorized boats and vehicles as much as possible is recommended. Great options can include riding on horses, camels, even elephants, thereby witnessing the wildlife and at the same time reducing carbon footprint, bringing income to the masses as well. Ecotourists and travelers altogether should choose organizations and programs that educate and primarily aim to enhance the environmental understanding. Before engaging an organization dedicated to ecotourism, it is advisable to learn more or to do some background check on them. Also, before engaging in an ecotourism program, one needs to educate himself or herself beforehand. Ask critical questions such as, do my program promote native customs and history? Are they educative? Is their focus more on promoting environmental conservation? In other words, it is advisable to choose programs that work with the native people and further educate you and them as well. Also, after choosing the program, be courteous of how you display your culture to the natives. Be part of the solution. When touring new ecosystem, it is possible to disrupt their lives. As much as possible, avoid disrupting the same. Avoid disrupting their lives and lifestyles. Do not scar animals as it might interfere with their daily lives or interrupt with the intentions of another of the same animal. In regards to the local people, do not disrupt their lives as well. Let them continue interacting with the ecosystem as they were doing before you go there. As always, clicking pictures only after taking necessary permissions. Another person and even future generations would also want to visit the place after you go. Let them find it better than you did. Future trends in ecotourism. Sustainable accommodations. Ecotourism is gearing towards a sustainable development, and in the same light comes sustainable accommodation as well. Tourists are increasingly choosing sustainable accommodation so that they can help reduce the negative impact on environment. It also favors better interaction with the local community and brings about a better ecological choices altogether. Women empowerment. There are several initiatives being created to further empower women. Tourists, in turn, are finding it more inclusive and better to support local women they meet during their visits. Societies are built on global movements and are finding more ways to promote gender equality as well as helping women reach their full potential, especially economically. Boycotting riding and petting of wild animals. Riding or petting wild animals is a fun way to spend your time in the wild. However, there are reports and even videos of people neglecting or abusing the animals out there. We are seeing a lot of videos coming from Africa where animals are being hunted on money basis. Unfortunately, this is not promoting sustainable tourism. This is not promoting ecotourism. Sustainable volunteering is a well part of future ecotourism. Modern travelers tend to volunteer when on their trips to make a world a better place, a trend that is gradually being embraced by many eco-travelers. Some of the things that these travelers choose to volunteer include activities and programs that somehow makes the place a better world to live in. Example include doctoral and nursing assistance, teaching that empowers people socially, culturally, behaviorally, and economically at the local level. Green accommodation. Travelers are increasingly choosing hotels and lodges that practice eco-friendly initiatives like usage of biodegradable products, upskilling technologies, recycling of various products available. They are also choosing local bed and breakfast accommodations, hostels, and guest houses instead of traditional hotels and luxury resorts. In doing so, they are promoting local businesses and local communities in general. Conservation and development. There has been uncertainty and debate over the consequence of recreational use of natural resources and natural habitats. The debate reflects the breakdown in trust between people of locality and government planners at large. People feel powerless to influence policies and have begun to oppose the very policies they once supported. It is true that without public support, conservation policies are impossible to implement because conservation is often seen to be in contradiction with survival, which unfortunately should not be the case. It is important, therefore, to develop methodologies that can help to resolve conflicts, gain public support, and find a balance between the needs of approaches in several ways. The most popular method is to impose regulations which are then strictly implemented. However, more interactive systems try to develop a consensus that helps the public to adapt its behavior so that the negative impact of any developmental intervention can be reduced or corrected. Disputes ought to be rectified, but talking to and taking all stakeholders together. Problem with any dispute resolution system will, however, depend on the willingness of the interested parties to enter negotiations, to get to the table, describe their perspective of the relative strength and weakness in determining the outcome of that negotiation. Alternative approach. A good alternative approach can be based on assessing the situation, developing a negotiation strategy, designing a forum, considering the impact of change to judging its acceptability, using a mediator, monitoring mechanism to initiate remedial action. For realism to find a place in people-centered approach to development, we could therefore take the following step. Towards realizing and finding a people-centered approach to development, we could therefore take the following steps. Make a broad review of the issue in the area to be taken up for development. Describe the present condition and interest that exists in the area. Identify change and indicators of that change. Specify quality standards that must be maintained even in the process of change. Prescribe zones and the desired condition in each zone. Agree on management action to maintain the quality of each zone. Review the proposals for the area as a whole through public notification and debate. Examples of wildlife tourism guideline. Wildlife or nature-based tourism is growing in many countries across the world, including India. After surveying resorts and homestays, almost 10 national wildlife parks in India, scientists from CWS and Columbia University found that there is an urgent need for increased regulation and tourist education for tourism to be truly beneficial for parks, wildlife, and the local community at large. They found that wildlife tourism in selected parks is growing rapidly at an average rate of 15%. Tourists range from more than 5,000 people per year in Bhadra to more than 5 lakh people across per year in Periyar. The majority of tourists visiting parks are Indians, and this provided tremendous opportunity to engage the local public population in the conservation efforts. Reason for growth in tourism include good wildlife sighting, increased publicity and marketing, easy access to many cities, and improvement in facilities at these tourist attractions. Additionally, the opportunity to see tiger is increasingly become a big motivator for these tourists to pour in. Several studies show that unplanned tourism can add to existing conservation challenges in parks and may benefit very few people. Growth in wildlife tourism in India presents an important opportunity to engage both rural and urban Indians in conservation issues and can for some parks provide substantial revenues as well. Thus, the new guidelines demand a tourism plan for each area to regulate tourist pressure for viewing. They also demanded a ban on tourism in its core area of 3000 square kilometer, which is to be protected and clearly demarcated as no tourist area. A ceiling on a number of visitors is to be determined by the administration. Prescribed routes for day trippers must be clearly identified. Need for interpretation centers at the entrance provide nature education and orientation in its good endeavor. All accommodation and infrastructure to be located outside the park gates. Transport should be sustainable. Cycle, trekking, e-bikes, e-cars, we ought to see to it. A strict code of conduct to be enforced with regards to parking, usage of guides, dresses, speech, litter, and photography. A good example is a ban on tiger show. Environmentalists and the trade have come into conflict over the tiger show at Kanha and Bandhavgarh few years ago. which were prime attractions for international tourists. Mahouts used to track the tigers on their elephants, sending the information at the gates so that tourists can be rushed to location and taken off-road if the tiger was located in the grass. In this way, tourists was assured a view of the tiger, which was privileged over other species in close to natural setting. Environmentalists opposed this kind of viewing as invasive to privacy of the said animal. Thus, sighting of tiger has now become a unique privilege. This issue has shown how conservation of tiger has been given priority over the tourism business and to reorient the forest administration towards their primary purpose, the conservation of species. In fact, it gives a reason to visit for a second time as well in case one is not able to sight the tiger in its first visit. Let there be the second visit for you where we are welcoming with open arms. Van Mukhia. To make the administration more representative, the Ministry of Environment introduced idea of Van Mukhia. This scheme replaced joint forest management schemes under implementation in many notified areas. Van Mukhia was nominated by a divisional forest officer and it was accountable for different administrative purposes as well. Environmentalists fear such a scheme will generate corruption at the grassroots level. Van Mukhia was earning 10% of the proceeds from the marketing of forest products above the share of its joint management scheme. He, therefore, was functioning like any other contractor and he gained overall sales from the proceeds. He then stood between village community and forest resources in all good endeavors. There is an element of arbitration in selecting the Van Mukhia and represent bureaucratic administrative practices in replacing the village forest protection committee, which has to broad-based rather than bringing a link to forest administration. The hierarchical nature of control and decision making by being located outside the community indicates a power structure that is alienated from the base. Such structures are bound to enhance conflicts rather than resolving them. Thus, to sum up, we see tourism needs to be developed, but it demands peripheral infrastructure also being made up to the mark. Even international standard if we wish to have more tourists to come and spend more time, thus providing avenues for revenue and job creation. Unfortunately, the sustainability part is usually on a sloping ground in the overall development perspective. Ecotourism ought to reflect its true essence. Hodka, Periyar. In fact, please allow me to say Kerala as a whole, Kaza, Leh are some of the examples of sustainable tourism development, but they too are sitting on the edge. As soon as word of mouth spreads, we see jams, negligence all happening at the same time. Strict enforcement on part of the local government is one of the major attributes to success. Like Mauritius, we need to protect ourselves as a niche and unique experience provider. Good thing we have plenty of it available across the length and breadth of our country. Please try to develop, please try to see how this niche tourism products can be developed. Now, let's revisit the unit again and write preparatory notes on 5 stories of positive and negative development on the ecotourism front. Wildlife or mountain region development is a sensitive issue. Highlight the challenges faced. Write a note on World Tourism Organization and how it sees development of tourism as a smokeless industry and a venue for multi-stakeholder engagement. Thank you so very much.